Good day everyone, I am Nica and I'm going to discuss about the demonstration of desired learning plan. So the definition of this is according to Nelson Bossing in 1961, it is a statement to be realized in the specific means by which these are to be attained as a result of the activities engaged in day by day under the guidance of the teacher. So this definition was a change in emphasis in the past. The teacher emphasized knowledge as an end in itself. Today, lessons are means of acquiring desirable habits, attitudes, and skills that will lead to the social and personal development. It also helps the teacher to know what to do in class, is prepared by them with quite specific activities. And lastly, it serves as the blueprint in the Bible of the teacher in the teaching learning process. So there are recipes for effective lesson planning. So to ensure successful learning and teaching, teachers must use a number of skills from their considerable learning armory. So what are those recipes? So the recipes are planning, recording, challenging, demonstrating, securing, managing, adapting, explaining, discussing, interrogating, reviewing, evaluating, modifying, establishing, and lastly is the questioning. So now ask yourself if you could do all of that without planning for it. So because the effective lesson planning is the means by which all of these things are prioritized and orchestrated. So it is the means by which we can provide for the diverse and complex elements of learning lesson on lesson. So the planning that under this lesson must be robust, relevant, and manageable. So why plan lesson? So planning what and how we teach is something that every teacher embraces every lessons of every day at their teaching career. So the days when teachers could go into a lesson without planning have long since thankfully disappeared. So there are importance of lesson plans. So first is a student's educational growth depends on the selection of subject matter, activities, experiences, and materials adapted to his interest, needs, and abilities. So and the level of course the maturity. So the wise teacher who plans his lesson well gets optimum results in this or in their teaching. So second is a lesson plan includes framing, objectives, and choosing subject matter, procedures, materials, and evaluation techniques. A teacher who has to do all these things is forced to prepare and organize his lesson well. Third, making lesson plan contributes to good teaching, which incidentally is the aim of every teacher. A lesson plan stimulates the teacher to be creative. Next is serve as a guide to the apprentice teacher. Next is a lesson plan helps the teacher to be as systematic and orderly. A lesson plan prevents wandering away from the subject matter by making the teacher conscious of what he has to accomplish for the day. Next is a lesson plan gives a feeling of security to the beginning teacher who usually feels nervous and tense. So next is by making lesson plans, the teacher learns to be more effective in as much as good preparation ensures good instructions, because the principles of self-activity applies to the learning of both teachers and students. If students learn by doing, so do the teachers. Lastly, past lesson plans will be used to a substitute teacher who may take over in an emergency. So a substitute teacher will frame future lessons based on what the class has already covered. Kasi 'di ba, hindi naman inaasahan minsan may nagli-leave yung isang teacher. So meron substitute teacher na pumapalit at nagko-continue na lang noong ni-lesson niya or nung magiging lesson pa niya. these are the parts of lesson plan. So first is the objective. So what is the objective? So this is a refers of what your students should accomplish during a class. Kung ano yung dapat nilang matutunan. Next is the subject matter. Dito naman, under dito is the topic, the references, materials of instructions. So, here in subject matter, it includes the specific topic, kagaya yung nabanggit ko, topic and how that relates back to the national curriculum. So, it includes the sources of all information, that is, for example, in website, textbooks, or some other material. So it likely also list any objects or tools teachers may use to enhance their lessons. So after subject matter is the procedure. So under the procedure, andyan si drill or daily routines, or yung tinatawag natin, diba, yung daily routines, so checking attendance, but before that pala, praying, checking attendance. Next is, andyan din sa daily routines pala I forgot, si motivations. So, next is the review. So, ano yung review? Ito naman, dito naman yung kung sa ano yung naging lesson nyo bago kayo pumunta sa panibagong lesson nyo for today. Next is presentation of the lesson. So, dito mo na i-introduce yung magiging new lesson nyo. And lastly is the lesson proper. So, here na, you are going to discuss your lesson for today. So, what is your topic for today? So, yun na yung magiging lesson proper nyo. Lastly is the development of the lesson. Here is the evaluation. So, dito naman, you're giving them a test if i-assess mo sila if meron ba silang natutunan after ng lesson nyo, para dun mo i-evaluate yung natutunan ng students mo. Lastly is the assignment. So ito na lang yung after lahat, before the end of the class, end of the lesson, ito yung ibibigay ninyo sa students ninyo na gagawin sa bahay or the homework. So, demonstration of learning. So, this refers to a wide variety of potential projects, presentations, or products through which students demonstrate what they have learned as a way of determining whether and to what degree they have achieved expected learning standards or learning objectives for a course or learning experiences. So, in contrast to worksheets, quizzes, tests, and other more traditional approaches assessment, a demonstration of learning may take a wide variety of forms in schools. So here is the oral presentation, speeches or spoke words, poems, video documentaries, multimedia presentation, audio recordings or podcast, works of all art, illustration, music, drama, dance or performance, print or online publication including websites or blogs, essays, poems, short stories or plays, scientific experiments, studies, and reports, portfolios of work samples and academic accomplishment that students collect over time, and lastly, the presentation or slideshow that provide a summary of the skills and knowledge students have learned. So there are two primary forms of learning demonstration. So first of this is a project presentation. This is a product or portfolio that teachers use a form of summative assessment. Say for example, dito is an evaluation of student learning skill acquisition and academic achievement at the conclusion of a defined instructional period such as a unit, project, course, semester, program, or school year. Next, pangalawa, a multifaceted assignment that serves as a culminating academic and intellectual experience for students, typically during the final year of high school or middle school. So, reform. Schools and educators may use demonstrations of learning as a component of a widely of educational and instructional strategies such as, first is the authentic learning. Second, community-based learning. Third, project-based learning. And lastly is the proficiency-based learning. So the next discussion, the continuation of this demonstration of desired learning plan will be discussed by Miss Colleen Arrogante.